Okay, hello, this is Jerry from USCamera, and today I'm going to show you how to use a trick to install the mirror cage on a Nikon FE. And FE and FM use the same type of shutter and the same type of mirror cage, so they install exactly the same. So let's get to this, and what you want to do is I'm just going to show you some basic things that you're looking for to make sure that you understand that, and then we'll put the cage in place. So we want to make sure the shutter's charged, and it is. The curtains didn't cock up. So if we release the first curtain latch here on this FE shutter with no power to it, it'll fire an M90. And so we're going to cock that up again. And what I want you to recognize on the shutter block is that first curtain latch, and this is the arm right here that kicks the mirror latch down after the camera fires. And so let me bring that up here and see if you can see this. Now I can't see the camera, but I can aim it towards the lens so you can see. Right here, that is the latch, and the latch release arm. And so you want to make sure that that's up all the way too. See? Okay. So let's move to the mirror cage. And on the mirror cage, this engages the latch for the mirror. So right here, this arm here, let me get that up and see if you can see that on the camera. This is the charge arm for it. And it's coupled to this roller on the camera body right here. So I'm going to put my thumb on it and charge it up. So when you push the release shaft down right here, it pushes this lever here down and the mirror goes up. Then when the shutter fires, the arm right here, the release lever arm on the shutter block, hits that lever and drops the mirror back down like this. So that's what we're going to accomplish. So we want to go back to the shutter now and make sure it's charged. I usually cock it just a slight amount forward to bring the roller that charges the mirror cage arm just a little farther forward than rest position. Then I want to make sure that the mirror cage itself is charged. So we're going to release the latch, charge up the charge arm. So now the shutter is charged and the mirror cage is charged. So that's the state that we want them in before we start to do the assembly. Now the trick is we're going to use some normal carpet thread. And what I'm going to do is pull out a length of this. And I want to make sure that when I start to mount this front standard on the body casting, that the block does the charge arm, pardon me, the release lever on the mirror cage stays down. We want it down so that it's below the latch release lever on the shutter. So what we're going to do is I've wrapped it around here and I'm holding that down, and what we're going to do now is we're going to mate this pair. So we want to start as low as we can possibly get to make sure that we get the one arm above and one arm below each other so that this will work properly. So we're going to just slowly mount the shutter block on here. The camera's kind of in my way. And so now that it's about mounted, on an FE you want to make sure that this lever here, let me bring it up so you can see it, that the lever comes through this opening here, and also gets centered in between the release slide. So I'm going to move that down just ever so slightly to get it down there, just like that. And then when it's centered, usually the shutter, the front standard, will just drop right down, just like that. So now that the front standard's down, I want to make sure that it's sitting perfectly flat. It needs to be absolutely flat, just like that. So when it's flat like that, the thing I do right now is I go ahead and cock the shutter all the way up, and I'm just going to release the camera to make sure it coupled, just like that. So we've got B, and the mirror came down so we know the coupling's right. So the very next thing that I do is I grab a screw and I put it in the front end so that it doesn't move while I'm putting the rest of the screws in, that I know it's still coupled. So I've got one in the front and the lower left of the camera front, and then we're going to put one on the opposite side here on the other side of the camera. And they're good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I just grab the string and I just pull it right on out of there, just like that. Just like that. So it's out, and you have just installed the shutter on the Nikon FE. If you want to make sure that everything is working okay, we want to make sure that the dial base is set to B, which I already set it to it, the speed dial base. I'm going to put a screw in the front here, and then I'm going to tighten the other one that was loose over here. Okay. Then we're going to rotate it to M90, and we should see an M90 fire, just like that. So you've just installed the front end on a Nikon FE body and coupled it properly with the shutter. Well, I'd look forward to hearing your comments, and if you have any other questions about your Nikon FE or an FM, just leave a comment or give us a call at USCamera.com, and we'll be able to help you. Thanks very much for watching the video.